Hi there, and welcome on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, folks, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I want to jump straight in after the last video, which, if you haven't seen it, it's the one that has the title "The Red Domino," highlighting, as I did with the slide, showing America's business performance hovering right about 72% effective, right? And I'm probably going to throw it up again here just for reference. But the thing you got to keep in mind, folks, is when you leave, essentially, when you're leaving 27, 30% opportunity laying on the table, and you're compounding all of this, compounding the struggles that you're having in your organizations to retain people in your struggling organizational culture. You may have a revolving door of leadership roles, whether they be departmental or otherwise. And you're asking yourself, geez, what do I do about it? And then you continue to throw good money after bad to have hiring firms, which you're left with no choice at that point, because clearly you don't have anybody internal to your organization that can hire anymore. Right? So you've got cost over cost, bad, you're throwing good money after bad over and over, and it's pancaking your problems. And these problems are pancaked and stacked to such a level that it's hurting the American economy, right? And you look at that and you say, well, it's just the cost of doing business. Well, it's really not the cost of doing business. I mean, it is currently the cost that you're having to deal with of doing business, but it's because you haven't made an effort to improve your organizational culture. Now, let me qualify that. There are exceptions out there. That being said, not enough exceptions to make it much of a difference, right? So a few handfuls here or there in different industries does not clean up $7 trillion in waste, right? And we know we can't zero that out. We're human beings, plus some of that's material. But we can cut 4 trillion of that back. We can pull back about 4 trillion of that. And if you think about it, you make investments. Look, you're investing in firms, maybe a little piece of equipment, maybe expand just slightly here. But if you haven't overcome these issues, you're basically dragging all these waste root causes of all these generators of waste along with you as you're trying to do these other things. And I'm amazed the IRS tax code allows for $1.25 million to be written off for you to work on improving your organizational culture, essentially improving your organization. This isn't talking about investing in machines and equipment, right? And the other side of this coin is, and don't get me wrong, I love gadgets. I love the gadgets and the gizmos, and I love software, and I love all of that. It's exciting, it's fun. You can create some polished products, nothing wrong with it. But it isn't going to solve your problem, okay? The hammer is not going to build the house. The hammer is a tool. Your software and your computer and your ERP, MRPs, all that, they are a hammer laying on the table. If you do not have people that can cohesively work together and be proactive and do all the fundamental things, right? And now you're saying, yeah, but I can't find those people. Where are those people? Well, I've got news for you. Some you'll find out in the world, right? Some you'll be able to snag here and there. But by and large, you're going to have to do some of this in-house. And to do this in-house, you're going to have to create systems, not unlike the ones that I propose, to be able to overcome and to build your overcome the issues and a lot of your waste and so forth. But it goes beyond just eliminating waste, right? You can eliminate waste, but still not show greater productivity. You can eliminate waste. I won't say eliminate. You can narrow your waste considerably and still have quality defect issues and dealing with customer issues from the quality perspective, right? Which plays into being competitive and all of that. Okay. So it's not a linear approach. It has to be a multi-pronged approach. Look, you know, call it what it is, but the only way to win this war, right? This war on conquering much of the inefficiency, the waste, ineffectiveness, right? The poor organizational culture, all of these things that are driving your high levels of waste, right? And when I say waste, I'm also talking about having to spend money to hire more people, and you're basically having to just throw money away to try to keep the wheels on the bus. For you to overcome all of that, you have to understand that a single linear approach, right, is not going to work. Now, go do your own research, but if you go do a little scrubbing out there and you say, well, geez, I don't know, how am I going to build good teams from the inside out? That's going to take a lot of time. No, it's not. No, it's not. Trust me. I've worked on this problem. I have a solution. But it's not going to take a lot of time. So, good money after bad, tons of waste, all of this, right? And you're saying, well, gee, I can't find that many people. How am I going to do this in-house? Well, let me just remind you of something. You can go back and do some research, and you will see, you could use ChatGPT, you could use Google, use whatever search, tools that you want. Use some of those fun tools that you spent so much money on, those golden hammers lying around, and let's put them to good use. And so what you do is you ask the question. The question is how many college students, from the polls of the past, have cheated on written exams and others. And you're going to find that number almost parallels in the poor performance of our businesses in America. Now, that's kind of sad. And what that tells you is that you have leaders and others, functionally and otherwise, who have not really taken learning seriously. They wanted to get the degree, they wanted to get the role, they wanted to get the paycheck, and they're just going to kind of say what they need to say to get through the day. And I'm sorry, that's just the facts, right? That's just the facts. And why is it the facts? I go back to the slide. I go back to the data. You wouldn't have a 72, 73% effectivity of businesses in America if you didn't have those and other issues going on. And I'm not just talking about leaders. You can look up high school data and you will find a similar number. Okay. So is it people who aren't smart enough to figure things out? No, they're smart enough. It's about will. It's about energy. It's about having passion. It's about bringing that to the table. It's about getting up off and out of our seats and getting out there and engaging with our teams and doing a whole host of things, but on a routine basis to build that cohesion, to really excite the culture, the organizational culture, and stop also from the corporate level, stop wasting so much money. If you can't put a hiring ad together yourself in-house, how are you making any product at all? Really, honestly. The only thing I can figure is that the same sectors that own some of the larger businesses also own these hiring firms. So they're winning, they're basically making money off of the same business that they can't keep people, can't maintain retention in. That has to be it, because why else? Why else would you do that? You don't need some exotic firm to go find a competent leader. You just don't. They're out there. There's plenty between LinkedIn and all the other platforms. You can find some just amazing people. You can find amazing people that are not in your industry, and you can, right? You can put them through a little bit of OJT. I mean, let's face it, folks. If you can manage in one particular industry, and a person has a capacity to learn, you can teach them to manage in another industry. Heck, I've done it. I've done it in a myriad of industries and the government. I mean, there's no limit. It all comes back to the heart. Do you have the desire and the passion, right? If you're a CEO, a president, whatever, an owner, and you don't have the desire and the passion, then what are you going to do? You're going to throw money at solving your problem. And don't get me wrong, you're going to have to spend some money, but don't throw it away. That's ridiculous. Because the other side of this coin is, you've got this bleeding out going on of 27 plus, percent of the GDP, $7 trillion. And then you're going to go try to hire somebody, and then you're going to all of a sudden get negotiable, right? If you can find a stellar leader or a stellar performer, stop playing the games. Get your HR or whoever you have negotiating your, for your, the pennies. Quit. Pay the people who can bring superstar performance. If you're not willing to pay the superstar performer that's going to lead you that organization, that site, and so on and so forth, if you're not going to pay them, well, then that's going back to the reason why you have the problem to begin with. Okay? You don't invest in the appropriate things. You're not investing in the things that work. You're trying to skimp, right? Thinking, well, I need to skimp here because no, you don't. You don't. You really don't have to skimp. What you need to do is stop wasting money in areas so you don't have to skimp where it matters, where paying your people a fair wage, paying the leaders that are leading those people, fair, considering that our economy is almost, inflated about 45%, much of that because of that $7 trillion, by the way. So you see how this just compounds. You're going to sit there and try to pinch pennies, right? In a situation where the reason why you have to pinch pennies is because you aren't solving the organizational culture problems to begin with. So don't make this a folly, okay? Stop with the folly. It's time to wake up. Hello, time to wake up. Quit with the folly. Start to, sober up your mind, okay? And understand you're going to have to build solid teams that are going to come in there and a development process and program within your organization, right? And these aren't expensive because you bring in the right teams. The right team members know how to build these things. They have experience, okay? And you bring those folks in, and then you're going to be off to the races. And guess what? Now your retention is going to improve, right? Your quality is going to improve because of that. Your engagement, as that is improved, then that's going to improve the morale. You're going to see the quality issues start to subside. Productivity is going to, inflate. It's these types of things that I've done in the past. I've never seen less than a 17% productivity improvement. And that's within weeks or a month or two, right? And I mean, and since then, those days, since those days, I've refined the process and I've consolidated into one cohesive program that can be used. Instead of having for you to invest in all these myriad of different things, all these golden hammers that you have laying around, and you're wondering, well, I bought this golden hammer, I bought this golden screwdriver, I bought this golden this and this golden that. Well, guess what? That house doesn't build itself, okay? That house doesn't build itself. It's great that you have a great expensive tool, right? Melt it down and make more. Melt it down, sell it off, buy, the decent tools, get the tools that you need, not more than you need, and start doing the things that you need to do. Now, some of you are going, oh, it sounds great. What do I need to do? Well, part of the reason why you don't understand what you need to do is because you've never done it. So it would be like, and I know this is foreign to you, because I'm telling you, hey, fix your car, go win the race. And you're saying, I need to spend a lot of money to fix the car. No, you don't. You need to get people who know how to fix cars, okay? because you have you have a race car, your organization, that is going around the track on 2, maybe 3 wheels, with 3 bad tires, okay, and a myriad or a host of other issues going around the track, and you're like, I need to spend lots of money. Let me hire somebody to tell me what I need to do, right? I need to hire somebody that's going to go hire more people to find people to fix my car. This is essentially what you have going on. Stop it. Stop bleeding out, okay? It's painful. It is painful for me to watch this. You can see these stats and you're just like, what is going on? I mean, come on, folks. If it's not your skill set, it's fine. You're going to have to pay somebody to help you fix it. Somebody like myself and others, right? But you need to hire 50 of them, and you certainly don't need to hire a giant firm to come in and fix your problems, right? They're going to fix their problems, okay? They're going to build their programs, right? And they might help solve a few of your little problems, right? They may have 1 or 2 little pronged approaches, right? Why is that? It's the same reason why some organizations only solve a few problems at a time. They want to keep that business rolling over so they want you to invest for years and years and so forth and so on. No, you don't need to do that, right? And if you're going to do that, you don't need to do it to that extent. You don't need to spend, millions to get into a deep contract, okay? What you need to do is find people who know how to fix your race car, okay? Who know how to solve the problem so that they can get you back on the track, get you racing again, get you winning so that you can get the results you're looking for. That's what you need to do, okay? And you don't need to sit there and try to play the debating over pennies while you're throwing dollars and hundreds and 10,000s into the dumpster, wasting your money in other areas, right? No, invest in the good leaders, good people, good problem solvers, people who have the ability to do these things. And then you're going to see your organization start to shift and change, right? It's the whole idea behind Pinnacle Shift. The whole idea of Pinnacle Shift is, I'm looking at a mountaintop over there. That's the pinnacle. You've been looking down over here, okay? And you think you've been looking at the top of this pinnacle over here. You haven't been. You've been looking over here, 30 degrees or 30% less than effective, right? Your vision is skewed because you're unable to lift your eyes up to see where the possibilities lay. And the possibilities lay where you're not looking. The possibilities lay where you need to start looking, okay? And the way you solve those problems, first, stop throwing good money after bad. Second, start putting quality team members around your organization that can build them up. Now, I don't care how long your job descriptions and your requirements for a role, all these things, fine, whatever. The bottom line is you want people who can bring you results, and results that deal with a couple things. Can they improve a process, right? Can they improve a process? That's number 1. Number 2, are they team builders, right? Can they build team cohesion, right? And from those 2 things, do they get results? Those are the 3 primary things, right? And that they're, walking down the sidewalk and not troublemakers in the world, right? Got their heads screwed on straight. Other than that, get them in there. Let them go to town. Fix your organization up. All right, folks. Just want to touch a little bit upon that today, talking a little bit about what you need to do going forward now that you understand the massive problem of the $7 trillion in waste that U.S. businesses are leaving lay on the floor, and they continue to throw good money after bad, thinking they're solving a problem when they're not solving anything. They're just regurgitating the same problem over and over again. All right, hit that good domino 3 to 5 times a day to uplift, motivate, inspire, and just encourage folks. And when you do that, what you're going to find is you're You're going to transform not only the broader culture and your own organization, but you're going to transform yourself. That's an amazing thing. All right, folks, hit like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.